showing you the basics of Google Books. Google Books is another tool provided by Google that allows you to organize books by creating bookshelves. You can also search through their library of books to purchase books. A lot of the books have previews, so you can get a few chapters from a book. It's a great resource for students doing research. For a lot of research projects, teachers require at least one book. They could find a book online through Google, and you can find many of them have several chapters. Some of them have the whole entire book posted, but typically kids are only going to use one part of a book. If they're using it as a resource, they're probably only using a chapter or two, so they can have a lot of luck trying to find a book that has at least a chapter or two that they can get information out of and use that in their research project. So it's a nice little tool. So it's very simple. You just go to google.com, you go to more. You can see I'm logged in, so if you're not logged in already, you may want to log in. It'll say sign in if you're not logged in. If you're logged in, it'll say whatever your name is. So it's that's there if you want to use it. Or you can log in later. Once you get into the Google Books, it'll ask you to log in. Same thing. It depends on how you want to do it. But once you're in, you can go to more and choose books. Once you're in books, you have a couple options. You can go to the bookstore and you can purchase books. You can see they list them for the web, for Androids, iPhones, and so on. So if you can do that, you can see they're also compatible with the Sony and the Nook. We're not going to focus on that for this course, but you can check there and you can purchase them there for your from the Google Bookstore. We're going to focus on showing you searching books here and the library. The library is the cool part of Google Books. You can save books to your library, whether they're purchased or not purchased, and you could share that with people. So if you wanted to share a list of books with students, maybe if you had 10 choices or 20 choices of books that they could use, that they could pick out, you can always house them here and share them with them, and I'll show you that in a second. But basically, searching books, you can search for any book that you want. A great book is the Global Achievement Gap by Tony Wagner. It's a really good book. It talks about 21st century skills students need. So you can see here it gives me this option. I can purchase it here, and it gives me a bunch of different places I can purchase it. I can check up different things. I can see it's already in my library, so if it wasn't, it would give me an option to choose to put that in your library. So like for instance down here, this is not the book we were talking about, but if I want to add it to my library, I can just click here and add it. Social innovation. So I can add anything I want from this list. This one's already in my library, but we can go ahead and take a look at it. It'll give you some front cover here. You can see that it gives you some more information. The preface is listed here. A lot of times you'll find the introductions to books. You can see that's here, the introduction to the book. And a lot of times it gives you the first couple chapters. So you can go ahead and scroll through. You can see I have several pages here. We're not even down the list and we're already on page 4. So that's one way you can do that to find books. If I wanted to add a book, there's a book I want to get. It's called by Seth Godin, Poke the Box. I want to add it to my library. I want to add it to read because I have not read it yet. I can save it. These are the different shelves I have, and I'll show you that in a second, inside of my library. So now you can see it's in my library, and that's how you can kind of aggregate the different books that you can put into your library of books and show on different shelves. So I'm going to show you now how to get to your shelves. If I go back to where I was initially and choose my library, I can see here's the ebooks that I've downloaded. Okay, so I can read these: Pride and Prejudice, Alice in Wonderland, Great Expectations. You can easily get the older books that that are already past the copyright, so that you can they're free. The entire book's there. You can see over here it has some different. Here's my shelves over here. You can see if I want to go immediately to a shelf, I have 14 under my favorites. I'm reading 6. I haven't updated this in a while. I can create a new bookshelf. So if I wanted to create a new shelf, I can name it. whatever you want to call it. If it's business books, I do have one that's business books. If you wanted to, call it classics or whatever you want to call it, math books, you can do that by just putting in the name of the shelf and describing that shelf. You can make it public or private. If you don't want anybody to see it, make it private. The default is making it public, and then you just go ahead and create that shelf. So I have several shelves created here already. You can see these are blank because I haven't done anything with these, but here are my favorites. And so I have several business books in here. So I have some different books. You can scroll through all the books that you have as your favorites. These ones that I'm reading now, actually I've finished all these, so I got to actually move those. These are ones I want to read that I haven't gotten to yet. Actually, I read Curriculum 21. But you can go through these and find different books. So it's kind of a nice way to organize your books, and it's a nice thing you could share out with colleagues or students to use in your classes. So take some time, play around with it, get some of your books up there, and then if this is the tool you chose, tell me about it in the chat.